Hello and welcome to Elevate with Exedra. Today's episode is very special as I have a wonderful guest whose design philosophy deeply aligns with everything we explore here. And that is creating spaces that truly support the way we want to live. I have a pleasure to introduce Lisa Alward, an award-winning interior designer and the founder of Bella Vie Interiors based in Brisbane. She's also the author of Beautiful Life, a warm, practical, and beautifully curated book that empowers everyday people to make confident design decisions. I'm so looking forward to this conversation where we'll explore the power of home design to elevate our daily lives. Lisa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Tiana. What a lovely introduction. Thank you for your kind words.
How are you?
I am so thrilled to be here today. This is just exciting because it is nice to find someone who has a passion like I do.
Would you like to share anything else about your work and your passion to introduce yourself?
I have always wanted to create a beautiful life for myself, and that then transferred onto a beautiful life for other people, which is why my business is called Bella Vie. Bella, beautiful in Italian, and Vie is French. And I have just had this innate feeling that I was here to make spaces more beautiful.
And the name was inspired by your travels, if I'm not mistaken?
It was. And also a little bit like, I don't like to be told, put in a box and told like it has to be both Italian or both French. So for me, it was like, okay, this sort of feels right to me. So a lot of intention around, the name. It really was like whatever feels right and intuitive for me, that's what I went with. And
Excellent.
I love it still.
It's all about the intention, isn't it? In everything we do.
Yeah.
Talking about interior design, that's your big passion, obviously. And aesthetics is a big part of interior design, but also energy. So is it important to talk about energy, or should we just say they go hand in hand?
It's absolutely important to talk about them because I really believe that your aesthetics and the feel of a space is equal as each other. I think they're really both important because you don't want to walk into a space that looks amazing but feels like soulless or just doesn't flow or have that really nice feel that makes you feel supported. You want your space to make you feel supported. I mean, we've all been into homes where we think, oh, very beautiful, but
almost like picture perfect and all the pieces are beautiful, but then you feel like something is missing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. You've been in the design world for many years. Can you take us back when you first discovered Feng Shui? And here I am going straight into Feng Shui, but that's a big passion of mine and just trying to blend interior design and Feng Shui. And I'm very grateful you are here today because it seems you have an interest in Feng Shui and you have had it for a while.
So unlike you, it's mine. Application of Feng Shui is a little bit the silent thing. I don't really talk about it in my business. It's not something that I market my business as a business that utilizes Feng Shui, but it is something that I innately use. I came across it the very first time when I was going through a really difficult time in my life. And I think when you're going through things like that, you look for anything that's going to help you and support you. And I'd only just started interior design and I was studying remotely and I sort of came across Feng Shui and I thought this could help me personally. And so that was my first sort of instance of meeting somebody who came and did the remedies in my home, which you can do. And it just really intrigued me. It made my home feel so much more aligned with what I wanted to achieve. And I really noticed differences in the way that my life flowed and how things seemed to come to me rather than me having to chase them as hard. And so for me, that was my sort of first introduction. But I did go on to study it in my dissertation. We had to do 5,000 words probably. And so I reached out to a Feng Shui consultant and she helped me with I did interviews and things like that and read a lot of books on it. And there is different ways to implement Feng Shui into a home. So yeah, it was sort of just became something that I live and breathe now more than just a practice. It's there and it's part of my life.
And does it influence your work? I assume it does.
It does, but I don't say to people, okay, we're doing a consultation and this is where, the areas of your home are. So for me, when I walk into a home, I will start offering guidance that is influenced by Feng Shui. So it might be, walk in and look at the mirror in the entry and be like, oh, that's probably not great Feng Shui for you. Do you feel this or this? If I'm choosing art for the front, I will be thinking, okay, we want it to lead into the house. If I'm helping somebody to design a new build, you don't really ideally want to be able to see from the front door right through to the back of the house.
Yeah.
And so I will be thinking about that and saying, well, maybe we should make some changes there. So yeah, I'm always using it. But for me, it's really about setting the intention with the client. How do you want your space to feel?
Yes.
Is it calm? Is it, do you want it to be more productive? Do you need more harmony in your home? What are the things that are really they need me to help with? What are the things that they're feeling misaligned with? Because at the end of the day, if I make them feel better in their space, then it's going to be a successful project.
Absolutely. And I think as interior designers, we should be familiar at least with the basics of Feng Shui, because even in your book you mention flow and function and energy and style, but it's all interconnected. Feng Shui is also a lot about furniture placement and enabling the energy to flow freely. As an interior designer, I think we should be familiar with at least the basics. Don't you agree?
I definitely agree. I think most designers probably use it but don't realize. Thinking about when you walk into a space, how do you want it to flow? So you're not going to be walking into the back of furniture where possible. Sometimes that's unavoidable, so you can put a nice console there and disguise that. But I think it would really be something that is helpful to explain, I guess, when people are studying.
I think a lot of people use the basic principles of Feng Shui without even realizing it. So when you start reading about it, then you're like, I know this. I have been using this just because we feel it on some level. I truly believe Feng Shui can help homeowners. So should we talk more about it? Do we talk enough about Feng Shui in relation to interior design?
Definitely don't, because it is, I guess most people will look at it as like it could be a little bit woo-woo. Do I need to have little trinkets all around the home? And there's different, as you speak about, there's different ways to implement it into your home. It doesn't necessarily mean little, I don't even know what they're called. What are these little like statuettes and things like that? You don't even need to do,
No.
you don't need to do those. I do have some. Because, you might want to add the fire element into a space. So that is just adding red in there, adding something that's going to liven up the space. So if people and interior designers and probably homeowners understood that a little bit more, I think that it would be something that would be discussed a little bit more openly and, not looked at as though maybe it's a little woo-woo.
And that's how it feels sometimes. But no, a lot of people actually think it's superstition and it's a little bit woo-woo, but it's far from that, isn't it? It's an ancient Chinese wisdom, and I think they started some 4,000 years ago. But I think also Feng Shui, it's trying to adjust to the modern way of living and to our modern homes, or at least that's my mission, trying to explain traditional Feng Shui in terms of modern living. So to make it very modern and simple enough so more people know about it and it becomes quite easy to use it in our homes. And I could see that in your book, you have used some concepts on Feng Shui. And one of the things I really loved is your reminder to design your home around your life, not your things. So often we're trying to fit our lives into the furniture we already have or recreate something we saw online, which looked really nice. But instead of asking ourselves, what do I need from this space? And what would actually support me here? And that mindset shift from styling to supporting, I think is powerful.
It's so important because you really want to create a home that supports your lifestyle and how you want to live and emotionally supports you. And I guess that's how I was introduced to Feng Shui, was because I came across it when I needed that emotional support. And so every year I get my home analyzed, and look, I can do it myself, but it's not something I hire somebody to do it, because I don't know, I like getting it each year and opening it up and going, right, now I've got to do this in my home and I've got to do that in my home. But of course, I am aware of things like, what colors to put in your home and things like that.
So in your book, I feel you gently bring back function, flow, and intention, and without ever losing the beauty. So what would you say in your own words? What would be the main messages of the book?
It's really an invitation for homeowners to design a home that supports them through the different stages of life, because life changes. We maybe start off single and as a couple, a family, empty nesters. And so when you're designing a home, you want to think about that actual flow of how you're going to live differently over those periods in your life. And the little tips I put in there about Feng Shui are there as just little add-ons, because I agree with you about having it more of a conversation and people not being like, oh, it's very woo-woo. Although I think we're all becoming a little bit more spiritually aligned now. So I think it's going to become a little bit more mainstream. There's a lot more people talking about it online, which certainly helps. So yeah, my book was always meant to be so people had access to interior design, because hiring a designer is not for everybody. It's sometimes out of the realm of, their budget. And also people like to do it themselves. Some people are home, they have a family, they want to design their home themselves. So I'm giving them a framework to do that. So here's what we're looking at, when we're talking about the shapes of things to put into your home. And here's how we think about, so form and function and light. Light is so important in Feng Shui. And so I'm just giving them those tools so that they can then apply them at home themselves.
And they can really go room by room, right?
Room by
They
room
can
is
start
so
wherever
easy.
they want.
Yes, yes. So you can start, I think the book actually starts at the entry. So yes, it is. It's meant to be a room. So you could pick it up at any point and go, okay, I'm going to do the living room. And, now in my life, this is what's going on. Even before you're doing a major renovation and you need somebody who can help you with, custom joinery. And you might be like, okay, I've had to think about my laundry. I know I need this and this and this and this. So the book is really a guide to help people to create a space that supports them.
Excellent. And Beautiful Life, the title of the book. What does that phrase mean to you now, especially in terms of home?
Beautiful life. I think I always say it's beautiful home as well. Beautiful life for me is enjoying all the aspects of my life. But when I talk about home, it is creating a space that I can always come back to, because we all lead really busy lives. Well, most of us, and everybody's life's different, but you need to have that safe haven that you can come back to. So I feel like if you have a beautiful home that supports you, and that doesn't need to be a showroom ready
Picture
home.
perfect, yeah.
No, it does not need to be picture perfect. It needs to be a home that feels right for you. And I think if you live somewhere and you've got somewhere safe to go every evening, you feel a lot more grounded, which means that your life is going to feel a lot happier and you're going to be more content. So for me, that's a beautiful life. And beautiful life, which I've also learned through my own, personal experiences, doesn't mean everything's sunshine, lollipops and rainbows. There's certainly lots and lots of things that come up in life, but it is learning to live with that and, and to sort of create harmony around you. And I think Feng Shui is great for creating harmony.
Yes, absolutely. You've seen so many homes through your work. Which patterns do you notice in the way people live or maybe decorate their homes that unknowingly block energy? Because we know Feng Shui is all about the flow of qi, the flow of energy. Have you noticed something like that appears regularly in people's homes, but this just blocks energy so much?
The front door. I stand at the front door waiting to go in for an appointment, and you're like, this place needs a clean up here because immediately, I mean, the first, most important thing is the approach to your home. And you need to have that, nice, clean space that you walk into, whether it's a bit of symmetry with plants, it doesn't have to be traditional kumquats or Feng Shui plants, but just nice looking, inviting entry, really brings good energy into the home. The other thing is clutter. It's a killer.
Yes, yes, I know.
It's a killer of good energy, isn't it? So yes, just tidying up, putting things away, making sure, and sometimes wrong furniture placement.
Mm.
And when you're not a designer, it can be hard to know what size floor rug, what size sofas, where to put them.
Artwork, if
Uh,
it's not hang at the right height, it
yeah.
can affect not just the look of the space, but your energy.
Yes, because you want to, everything should flow. It's the same as when, and you would know this, designing a kitchen. You want nice seamless lines everywhere. You don't want to have up and down and, you want to try and keep it nice and simple. I don't know, it's a little bit more inviting to look at and it just fits easier on the eye, which
Yes.
so furniture, definitely furniture placement. The wrong size pieces of furniture can either make a space feel too cluttered or it can feel like it's too sparse.
Yeah.
So, and I think, they're probably the main things, clutter.
And in your entry, you want something to draw the eye in, like a beautiful artwork or a mirror, but a little bit on the side or something. And that not only invites your eye in, it invites the energy in. And clutter, I don't think that was initially part of Feng Shui, but I think with modern living, we just tend to accumulate so many things and we have so many things. And obviously, clutter blocks the energy. People would even argue that clutter is the enemy number one of Feng Shui.
Probably.
I think that's a really good place to start if you are going to Feng Shui your home. First, to make sure you declutter.
Declutter, light, good light
Mm.
is also really important. I find that, spaces that are dimly lit don't have that same energetic feel about them. Do you find the
Yes.
same?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as much natural light as possible, but also artificial light is fine, but just I'm more leaning towards warm lights.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
not really harsh
In homes.
lighting in homes, that's for sure. So with decluttering, it's all about letting go physically and emotionally as well. And it's a big thing and it's not easy to do because it has so many layers and with some things we keep because they are meaningful or maybe they were meaningful at some point in our lives. I'd love to hear how do you approach decluttering or editing a space in that sense?
That's a tricky one because quite often we are mediating between a husband and wife because maybe one has more things that they've held on to for sentimental reasons than the other party, and we need to try and find a way to balance that out. So I feel like you've got to be ready to let go of things. And I know myself, sometimes I've kept things for years and then one day just gone, I don't need that anymore. So I approach it with, let's find a home for it. Let's make it look purposeful if it's still something that we can keep. I certainly don't get rid of everything that somebody has in their home. I will introduce or will retain things like maybe they've got some antique furniture that they want to keep, and that makes it feel more homely to me anyway. So I don't think you necessarily need to declutter everything just because it is old. I think you could keep things that are sentimental, be really intentional about why you want to keep those things and really think about, do they add value to your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just asking yourself those questions, being intentional, I guess, is the main thing in
Yes.
Feng Shui and just this whole philosophy about living a little bit slower and living mindfully. And that's why I think even Feng Shui is becoming a little bit more, I wouldn't say popular, but people are more open to hearing about it and learning about it because it fits really nicely into the idea of wellness and manifestations and mental health and just being grounded and aligned with your purpose and everything. So do you think we will be hearing more about Feng Shui in general?
I think we will, because all those topics are becoming more mainstream, and I think people are looking for any little edge to make their life better.
And we all want to live better. And your life doesn't necessarily have to be bad. Oh, I need Feng
That's
Shui to
true.
improve my life. But there's always an area which just could be a little bit better, or you feel, okay, maybe you want to improve your wealth. That's a popular area, wealth and abundance, but not just in terms of material wealth, but just like filling your life with all the things which are valuable. So you might just feel, or maybe I can improve this area a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think you don't want to look at it as though, oh, there's something wrong with me or my life.
Yeah.
And everybody's home can benefit from just a little bit of feng shui to make it feel better. But even things like the chairs we're sitting on, they're nice and curved and they are great for feng shui.
Yes.
They're not sharp angled edges. So it is about that softness.
Straight away
and
we
that flow.
felt more comfortable.
It's very comfortable.
Although we have these cameras and everything, but I think they're doing great. So we talked about the entry, and in Feng Shui, entry is called the mouth of Qi. So it's a very important part of your home. And not all areas in your home affect the energy in the same way. Some rooms are more important than the others. What would you say? Which rooms affect the energy the most?
Well, obviously the entry, but I also think the bedroom, because you spend so much time. It's when you recover, and that's when you need to give your body the best chance to rest and be ready for living life and, for your wellness. So, making it into your sanctuary is really important, I think. You want to feel good in your bedroom. And that is one area. The other area is probably workspace, your office. And whether that's at home or you go somewhere. But I feel like both those spaces are probably really important and probably follow on from the entry of your home.
Absolutely. I agree. And living and kitchen, they're also important. And I feel the bedroom, I think if you are to start with one room in your house to feng shui it and make it feel better, that would be your bedroom. It's a really great place to start. And I feel bedrooms often look and feel they're a little bit neglected in terms, if we are to compare them with living rooms and kitchens, so the areas where we have guests and where we entertain, prepare food. We often forget a little bit about the bedrooms, but they are so important for our personal energy. And you're completely right. That's the place where we rest and where we start our day, and how it affects our day and it affects our health, I think, a little bit deeper than what we're actually aware of. So yeah, bedroom definitely. And I'm quite excited actually. I'm going to talk about how to feng shui your bedroom at the upcoming Brisbane Home Show, because I think bedrooms would be a great place to start with your feng shui journey if our listeners are interested in that.
I think that's a great idea. I must say, we do luxury interior decoration as well as interior design. And bedrooms are an area that we are getting a lot of requests for, because people want their space to feel beautiful. And, I think that's good, because, it means it's not so neglected, and it's a great space that you can make really beautiful and very personal, because some of the colours you may put in your bedroom may not be what you would put in the living room, for example. You can really personalise it and make it into your sanctuary.
Yeah, it's all about the yin energy in your bedroom, so you're able to calm down and have a good rest, because sleep is so important.
Do you believe in curtains in the bedroom? Drapes that make it soften the energy in the bedroom? Because a lot of homes will have roller blinds or, different vertical blinds.
Yes,
Curtains are great.
And earthy colors, because you want to feel grounded, so you are able to rest. And for example, you can have a little bit of blue, like muted blue, but not too much blue. And not too much green, I would say. Although accents are fine, like sage green is beautiful, but not too much. So I can go really deep into it.
We get a lot of requests for blues and greens in bedrooms.
As accents, perfect.
Yes,
But green, if you think about the color green, it's related to the wood element and it's
Growth.
nature. And it's fine and it's relaxing, but too much of nature and we might become too alert. Like, okay, am I safe here? Like I'm in the wild, like we used to be so many.
It's good.
Then water. And I know like a lot of people love artwork with ocean images and they look beautiful and very popular here with this coastal environment and everything. But water is fine, but not perhaps for the bedroom because you don't want to sleep in the water. So it can be too unsettling, for example. So I would rather put those images or artwork in the living area, in your office, but not perhaps in your bedroom. But with the bedroom is really the positioning of your bed.
The
It's
command
the most
position.
important.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the most important. Interesting you say about artwork. I knew a couple a long time ago and they had a water scene above the bed that was very stormy.
Yes.
It was so like
And
their
how was their
relationship.
sleep?
It was so like
And relationship and everything.
Okay, so get Tiana to fix your artwork.
On the other hand, artwork is very personal. I can give guidelines,
Yeah.
like some guidance, but it's
Yeah.
up to the person because it's in the end, that particular piece of artwork or painting needs to bring you joy. And you need to enjoy it. And that's very personal and unique
It's
to
true,
everyone.
true.
So, but there are some guidelines we can follow
Yeah.
that can help us. Any other advice for other home areas? Like just
On
top of your mind?
You shouldn't be able to see your cooktop from the front door.
Mhm.
That's one thing, isn't it? So definitely a no-no. Colours. And when you're doing the flying stars Feng Shui, do you change the colours every year?
Yes,
in different spaces.
because
Yeah.
remedies change every year because of the flying stars.
How are you doing? So with a home analysis, are you recommending new cushions or decor?
I would say that, but I would also say that they might change next year. So I wouldn't recommend investing too much into something if they are not ready for that to be changed next year.
Yeah.
Colors are very powerful. They
Yeah.
are frequencies, and I
Yes.
love that definition. So we can really affect the energy of the space just by using appropriate colors. Even artwork, like for example, in my living room, I needed more of the fire element, and my living room is more neutral, beige, very calming. And I was like, okay, now I need a little bit of red. But I found a really nice painting that I love, and that has a little bit of red and also pointy shapes. So that helps as well. But even lighting a candle, it can look very modern. And probably for someone who just enters the room wouldn't necessarily say, oh, you have this here because of your Feng Shui philosophy or whatever.
More people would be open to it if they knew that because it's like, oh, it's subtle.
Yeah, absolutely. Or my mission is sometimes just to find nice decor items that would do the trick, but really fit into modern homes and make them look even more beautiful, right? Because aesthetics is important, right? We want our places, most people want their places, homes to look beautiful, of course, but let's not forget about the energy, I guess. Yeah. If someone listening is feeling disconnected from their space and they're like, oh, I just feel something is missing. It looks nice. I bought all the latest furniture, I'm following all the trends, but they just feel a little bit disconnected or perhaps even overwhelmed or stuck in their lives in one area or another. What's one small step they could take today to start shifting the energy of their home?
A small step would be declutter if it needs decluttering. Move the furniture around would be that's not going to cost money.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just the placement of furniture, and maybe change the cushions in the home,
colour.
and you can buy cost-effective cushions if you don't want to spend a lot of money. There's a few little tips. Light a candle, as you said, light a candle, put some fresh greenery in, fresh flowers, some of those little things that just make it feel nicer. I think, it's the little things. If you look at something and think that makes me happy, then it's probably a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be expensive, for sure. And it doesn't require renovation or full remodeling of your home. And that's the thing. And we just have to work with the spaces we have.
That is true.
But just make the most of them.
That's true.
Even as soon as you declutter one corner of your home, one drawer, I feel a little bit better straight away.
I think everyone does. And I think the other thing is you could just get a nice chair in the corner and make that your spot where you like to sit and meditate or journal. Make it your special place that even if you can't do the whole home, that you feel that you can ground yourself. And I think that'll make you feel better, which then you can sort of tackle the whole home.
Do you have a special place in your home now?
I do. I have a space in my bedroom that I sit, and I have a little side table. I like to pull oracle cards in the morning. I have a candle. I should have bought you a candle. I have a couple of candles I've just, I'm about to launch. And one is Timeless for Timeless Interiors, and one is Limitless for my son, in honor of my son, Jesse. And so they are yin and yang, black and white. There you go. I've got two, one of each. So all about the balance and the yin and yang. So somewhere with a candle, somewhere I can sit and read, somewhere that's away from everyone else. I think it's really, really important to have a space in your home that you feel grounded.
Absolutely.
Do you have a spot? Do you have a chair?
I do have a spot, and it is also in my bedroom. And it's a little bit of quiet there in the end of the day, I guess, just to calm down and listen maybe to a meditation or two when I have time.
So you have to make time. That's my first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Well, often I feel, if it doesn't happen in the morning,
it won't happen.
Yeah, it won't happen. Anything else you would like to add in terms of energy, design?
I think explore it. Explore it. And even if it's getting a home analysis done, reading a book on Feng Shui, looking it up online, just start to learn a little bit. And I think it will just add so much value to the flow and feel of someone's home.
Absolutely. It's about being intentional, having a look around you and noticing what's in your space and what's supporting you or maybe not.
Well, I think it's 100% about being intentional and creating a space that supports you. I think it's just, and it looks different for everyone. So I think that's the beauty.
Yes.
In creating a home like that.
Excellent.
So a beautiful life for you. Your home should be beautiful for you.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Lisa, thank you. Thank you so much again for joining me today.
Thank you. I have had an absolute lovely time. Thank you.
Yes, we are running out of time, but I feel like we have just started. I feel we could talk much more about it and go deeper, which is good, which makes this topic relevant in a way.
I'll come back.
Yes.
We'll do it again. I'm going to grab my book. And yes, for anybody who would like a copy, it is available on our website, and you will no doubt share that.
Absolutely. I will post the link in the show's notes. And I really recommend reading Lisa's book.
Thank you.
And until next time, take care and keep creating a home that supports the way you want to live. Thank you for listening and watching. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.